Hello, I'm Cameron Thraen. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Agriculture, Environment, and Development Economics. I'm also the Ohio State University Extension State Specialist in Dairy Markets and Policy. And I'm here to talk today about the state of the dairy industry in Ohio and what might we see coming down the road in 2015. The first thing to note is that 2014 is a record-setting year for equity building on Ohio dairy farms. This was brought about by record high milk prices across the milk price complex and thankfully a lowering of feed costs across the board. Corn prices are down substantially from where they were in 2013 and 2012, along with soybean and soybean meal prices and the other major feed ingredient, alfalfa hay. So that we look at income remaining after feeding dairy cows, it's setting a record. Other input costs, while being up, are not up dramatically, so that leaves a substantial amount of money on a per cow basis to build equity on dairy farms. This is extremely important because dairy farms in Ohio and across the U.S. suffered severe equity losses in 2009 and again in 2012. So it's important for the Ohio dairy industry to rebuild that equity. When we look out into 2015, though, we do see some storm clouds on the horizon. We have some issues that are developing and have been developing in the export market. World prices have been dropping fairly significantly in the last couple of months. U.S. prices will have to follow that if we are to remain competitive. That's important for the whole of Ohio and for the national dairy industry because now we export close to 15 to 15.5% of our U.S. milk production goes overseas in the form of export products. So what we're looking at is lower incomes in 2015. Do I think that these incomes are going to fall significantly and become a difficulty for Ohio dairy and for the industry in general? No. I think that you're going to see our industry come off of record prices, but they're still going to be, by most standards, high as long as feed costs remain low. Of course, one has to try to forecast what the growing season will be, but we're coming off of record crops. If we continue to see moderate feed prices, then I think incomes, while not as robust as they were in 2014, will still be very significant on Ohio dairy farms. Another notable piece of information is that for the first time, coming out of the 2014 Agricultural Act, which is otherwise known as the Farm Bill, we have a new margin protection program for dairy farmers. They have to sign up for this year, meaning 2015, by December 5th, so we're right at the doorstep. This program allows them to buy insurance essentially on that margin. They do have to pay for their participation in the program, but it will allow them an opportunity to take a look at where they think those margins will go in 2015, and that's the income over feed cost. If they think that income margin over feed cost is going to drop below $8, then they are afforded the opportunity of buying, similar to crop insurance, buying a product that will pay them the difference between whatever level they pick, and that can be anywhere from $4.50 up to $8, and then they'll receive a payment on that. This program is new. It's replaced all of the other income support programs that have traditionally been used for over 60 years in the dairy industry. And so I think that it'll be very interesting. I know that policy leaders, those in the industry, and certainly in Washington will be watching very closely to see what the level of sign-up is for this program. As I stated a moment ago, this is purely voluntary. If a dairy producer does not want to participate in this safety net, then they will be left to use other means such as the futures and options market, forward pricing, whatever they have at their disposal to manage their risk exposure in the markets. It's important to recognize that the major part, not the program itself, but information and educational efforts for this program originated here in the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences and in our department with the work of a fellow graduate student and now professor at the University of Illinois, John Newton. He was my graduate student. We developed a method for forecasting these prices and these margins into the future. And so this information can be found on the USDA's Farm Services Agency website and on our own website, which is dairymarkets.org.